Alright guys, so I've been trying so hard to get a video together on these laptops here. The other Toshiba, the Satellite A70, that's got a dead motherboard. I tested everything on there. The DC jack has been replaced already, and it looks like somebody replaced the capacitor on it one time, but I just can't get the power up. So like I said, that's above my pay grade, so that one's stuck on a shelf for now. And the HP is all compact. That's actually a really nice laptop. It works great, except the GPU chip on it gets extremely hot, and the way they got the cooling on there is pathetic. I flashed the latest BIOS update that they have for it from 2008 on there, and that just made it worse. It can't even get into an operating system now without shutting down. So I got to go back to an older BIOS and try and figure out a way to keep that thing cool. And I had a really cool video all set for that one too. But anyways, we're going to move on to this Toshiba. This is the Toshiba Satellite 2515 CDS, and this one works, as you guys saw. It goes up in the window, boots up in a Windows 98. But I think what we're going to do with this one here is we're going to just get this all apart, get it all cleaned, and new thermal paste, check the battery in there, because I'm sure that the battery has to be replaced, and yeah, and we'll just take it from there. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it here. Oh, they may have a screw underneath. I don't know. Alright. We've got a stick of RAM in here. See if it's got any markings on it. No, Viking Components, 1995. Hyundai RAM chips on it. Alright, let's get this battery out of here. Alright, so there was no more screws. This just pops out. Alright, no plate for the keyboard. Alright, there's where our keyboard connects. I have to be really careful with all these locks for these connectors, because some things get brittle. The last thing I want to do is break one of those off. Alright, keyboard looks decent. And we got a ribbon cable for our buttons right here as well. And it looks like we've got a couple plugs for the speakers here. There we go. Trying to be really careful with those. There's some decent looking speakers there. not much cleaning out to do in here other than like maybe, you know, the plastic on here, because this looks pretty decent. Alright, and let's take a look at the motherboard here. Alright, so we've got hard drive here, optical drive here. Pop that out. Oh, nothing, just lift it up. Alright, there's the optical drive. October 1998. Continuing on. Halogen antimony free. Hey, good, I guess. Alright, this is the power connector for the battery. And we got another connector here, and man, these little tabs make me nervous. I know them suckers get brittle. Alright, let's get this off. There. Alright, finally. Alright. Hard drive out. Little Travel Star 10 gig hard drive. Sweet. Alright. So I still gotta get this out of here. There we go. And there's our floppy drive. Is that even in the way of the motherboard? I don't know. Take it out anyways. More out of the way, the better. That one has to come out. Oh yeah. There we go. Got one more ribbon cable here. Alright. There you have it. Chips, that must be the graphic chip right there. Which marked Toshiba. There's where your RAM goes. It looks like there's some RAM under it. That's soldered to the board. CPU will be under here. Yeah, not too shabby. Let's get the heatsink off. Not much of a heatsink. Yeah, there we go. Not much of a heatsink. You got this little fan here. You want to see a cute little fan? Look at that cute little fan. I think it's just adorable. Alright, so underneath there's a Intel chip right there with, I don't know, is that a thermal sensor of some sort on it? Alright, so underneath there we are going to put a little thermal paste on it because that right there is your die for the CPU. Hold on a second, there's some light going here. Yeah, right there. The die for the CPU. So on the back here, under this little back plate, that must be the opposite side of it. You know what you normally see top of your CPU. And it's thermal, like it's some type of little thermal sensor. That is interesting. Alright, so I'm going to clean that out. You can see how hard and crusty this stuff is. Let's reassemble this thing. So now we can put the heatsink back on. That went a little something like that. And the fan just secures right to the heatsink here. Alright. That's about all we need to do on the motherboard here. And the rest of it looks pretty decent. Alright, we've wrapped up this Toshiba 2515 CDS. I had the whole thing taken apart, cleaned it. It wasn't really dirty, just mainly it was just around the touchpad, so we pulled these, or the buttons here, so we pulled these out and just washed them really good. It got in all the cracks really good and all that. So, yeah, other than that, it was like really clean. Checked the thermal paste on the CPU there. We had to add some fresh thermal paste to it because what was on it was kind of crusty. You can see the screen's got some lint on it from wiping it off. That's all that is on there. But yeah, the outside cleaned up really nice. There's like one scratch on it here. But overall, this thing is pretty immaculate. Look at the front, you see there's a 1.44 floppy port. There's your all your lights for all the activity. Double PCMCIA slot on-off switch. Right under here is the hard drive, and you can access it. You take out this door, and there's one screw, and you can just pop it right out. It's a 10 gigabyte IDE hard drive. Parallel printer port, IR port. That's your little tiny fan that you'll see in the video. Serial port. This thing's got a focus here. Alright, so we got a serial port, VGA out, power port, and there's a PS2 port, USB 1, and a CD-ROM. And over here you've got audio in, microphone, headphones, volume control. God, I wish this thing would focus better. And brightness control. Okay, I guess it's focused on that. But yeah, brightness control. Alright, so the power button's in an odd spot. I just push it there. So your activity lights come on. And the screen on this thing starts out a little washed, and then as it warms up for a minute, it darkens up. And that's probably just due to the age of it. And judging from that copyright, I'm going to say this laptop was probably released in 1998. Alright, we'll give it a minute for the screen to come in here. Like I said, it takes about a minute, and then it darkens up. But you know what? It may not even be the screen right now. Yeah, nope, my bad. That was me. When I wiped it down, I hit the brightness control. So yeah, that was me. And there we go, Windows 98. We've got all our drivers installed. Let's go. Let me get this thing set up here. Alright, there we go. I had to get the camera set up on a tripod. But yeah, anyways, let's as soon as I find my mouse here. Hate this little thing. Let's go in the control panel here. Let's make it bigger. And we'll go into, well, first here you can see we have a Pentium processor, a Pentium 233, MMX CPU, 64 megs of RAM, running Windows 98 2nd edition, which is, you know, appropriate. I think that's what this came with, was Windows 98. And this other device, I'm not sure what that is there, but if you look at, come on mouse, where are you? Display adapters, the graphics are Chips and Tech 69000 PCI, which I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of that before. Sound is, so as I get to it here, Yamaha OPL3 SAX. So I'm assuming it's pretty good because this has got nice speakers in it and it actually sounds really, really good. So let me get out of all this here. Damn it. Alt F4. It's easier than trying to use the mouse. Alright, so if I go to Properties, go to Settings here, and you can see we're at 24-bit color, 600 by 800 resolution on the display. And here's our tab for chips, and it doesn't give you any options at all, it just gives information. And it's just got drivers. And all the drivers are dated 1998, so yeah, full hardware acceleration. Alright, so yeah, that's a quick overview of this. It's got Windows 98 on it right now. You know, I don't think it could handle much more than that. But yeah, I mean, it runs decent. I mean, it's pretty, you know, pretty snappy for a little laptop. I think at, you know, a lot of these were being made. I know desktops were being made with Pentium 2s around this time. But yeah, it's interesting. This got the Pentium 233 in it, probably for you know, for heat. You know, because it's a lot cooler, and for battery life. That's what I can imagine. But yeah, this thing works excellent. It's in excellent shape. I mean, I'm really really impressed by how good a shape this thing is in. So, alright, that's the wrap on this one. I'm glad to finally get one done here and out of the way. Anyways, you guys stay warm, and we'll see you on the next one.